Here's a more complete timeline of Mips the Rabbit's development and role in Super Mario 64, including the early testing and his final implementation. 1994 A early development and prototyping Mips is introduced. During the early stages of Super Mario 64's development on the Nintendo 64, Mips the Rabbit was one of the first characters added to test the game's new 3D engine and Mario's interaction with the world. Testing character interactions, Mips was primarily used as a simple test for the 3D movement system, jumping, and collision detection. The development team needed to figure out how to make characters and objects move naturally in the new 3D space, and Mips helped with this. 1995 A refinement and new concepts gameplay and chase concept. As development progressed, the team refined Mips' design and began to experiment with the idea of using him as a chase character. The mechanics of Mario chasing Mips to catch him and obtain a Power Star were developed during this period. This would become one of the key puzzles in Super Mario 64. Mario's interaction with NPCs. Mips was used to fine-tune Mario's interaction with non-playable characters, NPCs, in the 3D world. The chase mechanic was central in showcasing how Mario could interact with moving characters in a non-combat way. 1996 A polishing and final implementation. Final design of Mips. Mips was refined into a character with more defined features and behavior. He was given a rabbit-like design, adding to the whimsy of his character. Inclusion in the game. Mips was placed in the basement of Princess Peach's castle in Super Mario 64. To capture him, the player had to chase him around, and upon catching him, Mips would reward Mario with a Power Star. This chase mechanic became one of the memorable, non-combat challenges of the game. 1997 A Super Mario 64 launched global release. Super Mario 64 was released in Japan in 1996 and in North America and Europe in 1997. Mips became a small but memorable part of the game. His inclusion in the castle's basement gave players a fun and engaging diversion from the main levels. Fan reception. Despite being a minor character, Mips became a fan favorite due to his unique, playful interaction with Mario. He was viewed as an interesting use of the 3D engine and an early example of how characters could interact with players in a non-traditional manner. Post-launch A legacy and appearances in future games. Memorable appearances. While Mips was never a central character in the Super Mario series, his role in Super Mario 64 made him a lasting, iconic figure among fans. He would later make cameo appearances in other Mario games, such as Super Mario Galaxy, 2007, and Super Mario Odyssey, 2017, often as a reference or Easter egg for longtime fans of the franchise. Influence on future games. Mips' chase mechanic inspired other types of puzzles and interactions with NPCs in future Mario games. His playful nature and role as a helper character who rewards the player contributed to the more relaxed and exploratory aspects of the Super Mario franchise. Present-day A Mips the Mario culture cult following. Mips has remained a favorite among Super Mario 64 fans and has appeared in various fan art and discussions about the game's legacy. His role as an early test character for Super Mario 64 is often discussed by game developers and fans alike when looking at how the game was structured and how characters evolved in 3D environments. Cameo appearances. Mips has continued to make minor appearances in modern Super Mario games, including the aforementioned Super Mario Odyssey, where he serves as a nod to the franchise's history. Summary of Mips timeline. 1994, introduced as a test character for Super Mario 64's 3D engine. 1995, refined as a chase character to test Mario's interaction with NPCs in 3D. 1996, final design implemented as a rabbit in the basement of Peach's castle, rewarding players with the Power Star for catching him. 1997, Super Mario 64 launched, and Mips became a memorable part of the game. Post-launch, became a fan favorite and influenced future games with similar chase mechanics. Present day, continues to appear in Super Mario lore and as a nostalgic element for fans. Mips' development highlights the innovative approach Super Mario 64 took in designing interactive characters for a fully 3D platformer, which was groundbreaking at the time. For many,